The old man's hand didn't shake when he reached out. The German Shepherd collapsed forward, legs trembling, barely able to hold its weight. Did this story touch your heart? Give it a thumbs up, share it around, and drop your location in the comments. Laughter broke out around them. Look at that thing, it won't last a day, someone muttered. The seller smirked, holding out the money. You sure about this, old man? He didn't answer right away. His eyes stayed on the dog. Thin ribs showed through its dirty fur. Its breathing was uneven. But its eyes, they weren't empty, they were focused. Locked on him. I'll take him, the old man said quietly. The dog tried to stand straighter, failed, then tried again. More laughter. You just bought yourself a dead dog. The old man ignored them. He stepped closer and crouched slowly. The dog didn't growl, didn't pull back. It just watched him, steady, like it was waiting. It's all right, he whispered. For a moment, everything went still. The dog shifted, weakly, but it leaned toward him instead of away. That's when the old man felt it. Not pity, not impulse, recognition. He frowned slightly, studying the dog's face, the posture, the way it held eye contact despite the pain. This isn't random, he murmured under his breath. The dog blinked once, and stayed locked on him. The dog stumbled forward the moment the old man stood up. Its legs shook, but it refused to fall again. Easy, easy, the old man said, lowering his hand slowly. The German Shepherd leaned into him just slightly. Not for balance, not for comfort, like it had already decided something. Behind them, the laughter hadn't stopped. You really taking it home? Someone called out. The old man didn't look back. He tightened his grip gently on the rope tied around the dog's neck. Come on, he whispered. The dog tried to walk. One step, then another. Each movement looked like it hurt, but it kept going. Halfway across the muddy ground, it paused. Its ears twitched. Its body stiffened. The old man noticed. What is it? The dog didn't turn toward the voices behind them. It didn't react to the people. It was looking somewhere else. Toward the far edge of the market. Its breathing changed. Slower. Focused. Then it pulled. Not hard. Not sudden. But clear. It wanted to go that way. The old man hesitated. You see something? The dog didn't answer, of course, but it stepped forward again, this time not following him, leading him. The old man frowned, glancing once over his shoulder at the laughing crowd, then back at the dog. All right, he said quietly. I'm listening. The dog pulled again, stronger this time. The old man tightened his grip. Hey, slow down, he said, trying to match its pace. But the German Shepherd didn't stop. Its weak body moved with sudden purpose. Every step looked painful, yet it kept going, dragging him toward the far end of the market. What are you doing? The old man muttered. The ground turned rough. Fewer people. The laughter faded behind them. Then the dog stopped. It froze in place, staring at a broken wooden fence near an empty corner. Its ears lifted slightly. Its body stiffened. Something there? The old man asked, stepping closer. The dog took one slow step forward, then another. Then it lowered its head, not in weakness, in focus. It began to sniff the ground, moving carefully along the edge of the fence. The old man watched, confused. You smell something? The dog paused at one spot, its paw scratched lightly at the dirt. Once, twice. Then it looked back at him. Not tired anymore, not lost, focused, waiting. The old man felt something shift inside him. This isn't normal, he whispered. He crouched down slowly, brushing away a thin layer of dirt with his hand. His fingers hit something solid. He froze. The dog didn't move. It just watched him, like it had been waiting for this moment all along. His fingers closed around it. Cold. Metal. The old man pulled it out slowly, brushing away the dirt. A small, worn tag, not just any tag. his breath caught. "No, that's not possible," he whispered. The German shepherd stepped closer, watching every movement. The old man turned the tag in his hand. Scratched edges, faded engraving. But still readable. K9 unit. His grip tightened, his eyes moved to the dog. Then back to the tag. "You," he said under his breath. "Where did you get this?" The dog didn't move. It just stood there, steady now, as if the weakness had stepped aside for something stronger. The old man's heart started to pound. Memories pushed forward, old ones buried deep. He hadn't seen something like this in years. He looked toward the broken fence again, the empty corner, the silence around it. "This place," he muttered. The dog turned its head slightly, then looked back at him again. Not confused. Certain, like it knew he would understand. The old man swallowed hard. "You're not just some dying stray," he said quietly. The dog held his gaze, and for the first time, the old man felt it clearly. This wasn't the beginning of something. It was the return of something that was never finished. The old man closed his fist around the tag, his breathing uneven now. "You brought me here," he said slowly. The German shepherd didn't move away. It stepped closer instead, pressing its weak body forward like it was urging him to understand faster. "Why this spot?" he asked. The dog turned back to the ground and scratched again. Harder this time. The dirt shifted. The old man leaned in, pushing more soil aside with his hands. His fingers hit something larger beneath the surface. Wood. Old, damp. He froze for a second, then pulled harder. A small, broken box came loose from the ground. The dog let out a low breath, almost like relief. "What is this?" the old man murmured, opening it carefully. Inside, papers. Worn, stained, and something else. A badge. His hand trembled. He picked it up slowly. Recognition hit him instantly. This was from our unit," he whispered. His eyes snapped back to the dog. "You were there, weren't you?" The German shepherd didn't bark, didn't react wildly. It just stood there, steady, watching him like it had been waiting for him to say it out loud. The old man's chest tightened. Years ago, a mission had gone wrong. A K9 unit disappeared. Evidence lost. Truth buried. And now the dog took one step back, then turned, and started walking again. Not away, forward, leading him deeper into something he thought was already over. The dog didn't slow down. It moved past the broken fence toward a narrow dirt path behind the market. "Wait," the old man called, struggling to keep up. "You're not done, are you?" The German shepherd kept going. Its steps were still weak, but now they were steady, driven. The old man followed, clutching the badge and the papers. His mind was racing. "This can't be random," he muttered. The path led into a quieter area. No voices, no laughter, just wind brushing through dry grass. The dog stopped again. It turned its head slightly, scanning ahead. Then it stepped toward a small, abandoned shed. The old man's chest tightened. That place, he recognized it. Years ago, during that mission, this area had been marked, but never fully searched. Something had gone wrong. Orders changed, people pulled back, and a dog never came back. The German shepherd walked up to the shed door. Then it froze, its body went tense, ears forward, eyes locked. "Is someone inside?" the old man whispered. The dog didn't bark, it stood its ground, guarding, warning, like it had done this before. The old man stepped closer, his hand slowly reaching for the handle. "All right," he said quietly. "I'm with you." His hand stopped just inches from the door. The German shepherd let out a low, controlled growl. "Not yet," the old man whispered, pulling his hand back. The dog stepped forward, placing itself between him and the door. Weak but unmovable. "All right, you lead," he said softly. The dog lowered its head and moved along the side of the shed instead. Slow, careful. The old man followed, heart pounding. They reached the back wall. The wood was broken there, just enough to see inside. The dog froze again. Its body tightened. "Something's in there," the old man murmured. He leaned slightly, looking through the gap. Darkness. Dust. Then something moved. He flinched. "Hello?" He called out, voice low but firm. No answer. The dog didn't bark. It waited, watching. Then it nudged him, lightly, forward. The old man took a slow breath and stepped closer to the broken opening. "Who's there?" Silence. Then a faint sound. Not an animal. A human breath. The old man's eyes widened. "Someone's alive in there." The dog stayed still, focused, like it had been guarding this moment for years. The old man didn't hesitate this time. He pushed against the broken wood and stepped inside. "Hey, can you hear me?" The air was thick. Dust hung in the dim light. The German Shepherd moved in right behind him, placing itself between the old man and the darkness ahead. Protecting. A weak voice came from the corner. "Stay back." The old man froze. "I'm not here to hurt you." The dog didn't bark. It walked forward slowly, step by step, as if it knew exactly where to go. "Don't come closer." The voice said again, shaky. But the dog kept moving. Then it stopped, right in front of a man lying against the wall. Thin. Pale. Eyes barely open. The old man stepped closer, shocked. "You're alive?" The man blinked slowly, trying to focus. Then his eyes moved to the dog. His breath caught. "You," he whispered. The German Shepherd lowered its head slightly. Not weak, respectful. The old man felt his chest tighten. "You know this dog?" The man swallowed hard. He never left. Silence filled the room. The dog stepped closer and sat beside him. Guarding. Waiting. Like its mission was finally complete. The man's hand trembled as he slowly lifted it. The German Shepherd leaned forward, just enough for the man's fingers to touch its head. "You came back," he whispered, voice breaking. The old man stood frozen. "What is this?" The man took a shaky breath. Years ago, that mission, everything went wrong. The dog didn't move. It stayed beside him, steady, calm. They left. The man continued. Orders changed. They pulled out. The old man's grip tightened. He knew that part. "But he didn't," the man said, looking at the dog. Silence filled the space. "He stayed with me." The old man's chest sank. All this time, the man nodded weakly. "I couldn't move. I couldn't get out. I thought I was already gone." The dog shifted slightly, pressing closer to him. "He kept watch," the man whispered. "Kept me alive." The old man shook his head slowly, trying to take it in. "That's not possible." The dog turned its head, looking at him now. Not defensive. Not confused. Certain. The old man exhaled deeply. "This wasn't about being saved," he said quietly. The dog looked back at the man on the ground. It had never been about leaving. It had been about staying. The old man dropped to his knees beside them. "We're getting you out," he said, voice firm now. The man gave a weak shake of his head. "Too late." "No," the old man cut in. "Not today." The German Shepherd stood up suddenly. Not weak. Not slow. Focused. It moved to the door, then back to them, then to the door again. All right, I see," the old man said. "You want me to move?" The dog stepped closer to the man on the ground, then nudged his arm gently. "Stay with me," the old man said, lifting him carefully. The man winced. "I can't walk." "You don't have to," the old man replied. The dog moved ahead, clearing the path, checking every step like it still remembered its training. Guarding. Leading. They reached the broken wall. The old man pushed through first, then pulled the man with him. Outside air rushed in. The man coughed, gasping. The dog stood close, watching his face, alert to every breath. "We're not done yet," the old man whispered. The German Shepherd looked at him, then turned, and started moving again, still leading. The old man tightened his grip around the man's shoulder and forced himself forward. "Stay with me," he said again, voice low but steady. The German Shepherd moved ahead, stopping every few steps to look back. Guiding. Checking. They reached the edge of the dirt path. The market noise was faint in the distance. "We need help," the old man said, breathing heavier now. The man coughed weakly. "No police." The old man paused. "Why?" The dog turned sharply at that word, alert, focused. The old man noticed. "You're reacting too." The man's eyes closed for a second. "It wasn't an accident, that mission." The old man's chest tightened. "What do you mean?" The dog stepped closer, standing between them and the path behind. Guarding again. "They left us on purpose," the man whispered. Silence hit hard. The old man felt something shift. "This dog," he said slowly, looking at the German Shepherd. "It didn't just stay with you," he continued. The dog held his gaze. "It waited for someone to finish this." The man nodded faintly. "And now, you're here." The old man didn't waste another second. "Then we don't go back," he said firmly. "We go forward." The German Shepherd stepped ahead, already moving like it understood the decision. "Where are we going?" the man asked weakly. The old man looked at the dog. Wherever he takes us, the dog didn't hesitate. It moved off the main path, toward a narrow trail leading deeper behind the market. "Wait, that way," the man whispered, fear in his voice. The dog stopped, turned, stared at him. Not forcing. Waiting. The old man nodded. "He's not wrong." The man closed his eyes for a moment, then gave a weak nod. "All right." They moved again. The trail led to an old service road barely used, almost forgotten. The dog slowed, then lowered its head, sniffing carefully. Then it stopped, completely still. "What is it?" the old man asked. The dog stepped toward a rusted metal box near the roadside. It scratched at it once, then looked back. The old man stepped closer, heart pounding. "Another clue," he muttered. He opened the box. Inside, papers, files, sealed, and one name circled. The man behind him whispered, barely audible, "That's him." The old man's fingers tightened around the file. "Him who?" he asked quietly. The man behind him struggled to lift his head. The one who gave the order. The German Shepherd stepped closer, eyes fixed on the file. Like it already knew. The old man opened it carefully. Inside were reports, old, stamped, marked incomplete. But one page stood out. A signature. Clear, untouched by time. The old man's breath caught. "I know this name," the dog shifted, stepping between them and the road again. "Guarding." "Why hide this?" the old man asked. "Because if it came out," the man whispered, "everything would change." Silence. The old man looked from the file to the dog, then back again. "This is why you didn't leave," he said softly. The German Shepherd held his gaze. Not weak, not lost, certain. The old man closed the file slowly. "Then we finish it." The dog turned immediately, no hesitation, and started moving again, leading them toward the truth that had been buried for years. The old man followed without question this time. "Where is he taking us?" the man asked weakly. The old man didn't answer. His eyes stayed on the German Shepherd. The dog moved faster now. Not rushing, but certain. Like it had reached the final part of something it had been carrying for years. They reached the end of the road. An old building stood there. Faded. Quiet. The man's breath caught. "No. It can't be here." The dog stopped in front of the door. Still. Focused. "This is where it leads," the old man said. The German Shepherd stepped forward and scratched once at the door, then looked back. Waiting. The old man stepped closer, gripping the file tightly. "Whoever did this, they're connected to this place," he said. The man behind him shook slightly. If he's still inside, the dog's ears lifted. It leaned forward, body tense. Guarding again. The old man placed his hand on the door. "This ends now," he whispered. He pushed it open slowly. Darkness inside. but something moved, and the dog stepped in first. Next, the German Shepherd stepped inside first, slow but certain. The old man followed, eyes adjusting to the dim light. "Stay behind me," he said quietly. The man leaned against the wall, barely holding himself up. Inside, the air felt heavy. Then a voice came from the darkness. "I was wondering when someone would come back." The old man froze. The dog didn't. It moved forward, standing between the voice and the old man. Guarding, a figure stepped into the light, older. Calm. Too calm. "You should have left it buried," the man said. The old man's grip tightened on the file. "You left them to die," the man shrugged slightly. "Orders change." The German Shepherd let out a low growl. The man's eyes dropped to the dog. "So, it survived." The old man stepped forward. "And now it's finishing what you couldn't hide." Silence filled the room. The man glanced at the door behind them, then back at the dog. "You think this changes anything?" The dog took one step forward. Not weak, not dying. Standing, like it had been waiting for this moment all along. The man took a step back, not out of fear but calculation. "You shouldn't have come," he said quietly. The German Shepherd didn't move. It held its ground, eyes locked on him. The old man stepped forward, lifting the file. "This ends here." The man's gaze shifted to the papers. For a second, something cracked in his calm expression. "Those won't hold," he said. "No one will believe you." The man behind the old man struggled to speak. "They will, this time." The German Shepherd moved suddenly. Not attacking, blocking. It stepped between the man and the back exit, cutting him off. The old man saw it. "You're not leaving." The man's jaw tightened. He looked for another way out. There wasn't one. The dog stood firm, guarding the truth. The old man pulled out his phone with shaking hands. "I'm calling it in," he said. The man didn't answer. He just stared at the dog. And for the first time, he looked unsure. The silence broke with the faint sound of a call connecting. The old man kept his eyes on him. "It's over." The man didn't respond. He took a slow step back, then another. The German Shepherd shifted instantly, blocking again. "No escape." "You think this ends with a phone call?" the man said quietly. The old man didn't lower the phone. "It ends with the truth." The man's gaze dropped to the dog. Then something changed. He reached slightly toward his side. The German Shepherd reacted before he could move further. It stepped forward sharply, cutting the distance, forcing him back against the wall. A low growl filled the room. Not wild, controlled. A warning. "Don't," the old man said firmly. The man froze. For a moment, no one moved. Then distant sirens began to rise outside. The man closed his eyes slowly. "You really brought them here." The old man lowered his voice. "He did." The German Shepherd didn't look away. It stayed right there, holding the line. The sirens grew louder. The man didn't run this time. He just stood there, eyes fixed on the German Shepherd. "After all these years," he said quietly. The dog didn't move. Steady, silent. The old man stepped closer, voice low. "You left them to die." The man exhaled slowly. "I followed orders." "No," the voice behind them broke in weakly. "You made them." The injured man tried to stand, leaning hard against the wall. The German Shepherd turned for a second, checking him, then returned its focus to the man in front, still guarding. "You buried everything," the old man continued. "The team, the truth, even him." The man looked away, just for a second. That was enough. The old man saw it, the doubt, the guilt. "This dog didn't forget," he said. The German Shepherd stepped forward once more, closer now, not attacking, ending it. The door burst open behind them. Officers rushed in. "Don't move." The man didn't resist. He just stared at the dog, and finally lowered his hands. Hands were pulled back. Cuffs clicked. The man didn't fight it, he just kept looking at the German Shepherd. "You waited," he said under his breath. The dog didn't respond. It turned away. Its focus shifted back to the injured man on the ground. The old man rushed to him. "Stay with me, help is here." Paramedics moved in fast. Kneeling, checking pulse, lifting him carefully. "Easy, we've got you," one of them said. The German Shepherd stayed close, too close. One medic tried to move it aside. "We need space." The dog didn't growl. But it didn't move either. "Hey, it's okay," the old man said softly, placing a hand on its neck. The dog glanced at him, then slowly stepped back, just enough, watching every move, every breath. As they lifted the man onto the stretcher, his eyes opened slightly. He looked at the dog, a faint smile. "Good boy." The dog lowered its head, not weak, not tired. Calm. Like it finally understood. The waiting was over. The stretcher rolled toward the ambulance. The German Shepherd followed without hesitation, step by step, not fast, not slow, just certain. "He can't go in," one of the medics said. The dog stopped. The old man looked at it, then at the medic. "He's not leaving him," he said quietly. The medic hesitated. "It's protocol." "Look at him," the old man interrupted. The dog stood still, eyes fixed on the man being loaded inside, not anxious, loyal. The medic sighed. "Just keep him calm." The old man nodded. "He already is." The German Shepherd stepped into the ambulance. Carefully, it sat beside the stretcher, close enough to feel every breath. The injured man's hand shifted slightly. The dog leaned in, silent, steady. The doors closed. Sirens rose again. As the ambulance pulled away, the old man sat back slowly, watching the dog, watching the man, and for the first time since all this began, he didn't feel lost. The ambulance slowed as it reached the hospital entrance. The doors opened quickly. Voices rushed in, movement everywhere. "Clear the way." The stretcher rolled out. The German Shepherd jumped down beside it, staying close. "Keep that dog back," someone said. But the old man stepped in. "He stays." The staff hesitated, but no one argued. They rushed inside. Bright lights, fast steps, urgency. The dog walked beside the stretcher the entire way, not barking, not panicking, just watching. They reached the emergency room doors. Only staff beyond this point, a nurse said. The old man stopped. The dog didn't. It tried to follow. "Hey." The old man gently held its collar. "Wait." The German Shepherd resisted for a second, then stopped. Its eyes stayed locked on the doors as they closed. Silence followed, heavy. The dog sat down slowly, still facing the door, not moving. The old man stood beside it. Neither of them spoke. Minutes passed. Then more. The dog didn't look away once, like it knew this part was out of its control. The hallway stayed quiet, but the dog suddenly stood up. No warning, no sound, just alert. "What is it?" the old man asked softly. The German Shepherd took a few steps closer to the emergency doors. Its ears lifted, its body tensed. Then it let out a low breath. Not fear, recognition. The doors pushed open. A doctor stepped out, removing his gloves. "Are you with the patient?" The old man nodded quickly. "Yes, how is he?" The doctor looked at the dog first, then back at the old man. "He's stable," he said. "Barely, but stable." The old man exhaled slowly. The dog stepped forward. The doctor hesitated. "He's asking for the dog." The old man blinked. "Already?" "He hasn't said much," the doctor replied. "Just one word. Over and over." The German Shepherd moved closer to the door again. "Let him in," the old man said quietly. The doctor studied them for a second, then stepped aside. 5 minutes. The dog didn't wait. It walked through the doors immediately. The old man followed behind. Inside, machines hummed softly. The man lay still, eyes half open. The dog approached slowly, then stopped beside him. The man's hand lifted weakly. "You stayed," he whispered. The dog lowered its head gently under his hand. And for the first time, it finally relaxed. The man's fingers rested on the dog's head, weak but steady. "You didn't leave," he whispered again. The German shepherd stayed still, eyes soft now, no longer searching, no longer guarding, just present. The old man stood at the foot of the bed, watching quietly. "What happens now?" he asked the doctor in a low voice. "We keep him stable," the doctor replied. "After that, it depends on him." The old man nodded slowly. The dog shifted slightly, pressing closer to the man's side. The monitors beeped softly. Steady. Alive. Minutes passed. The man's breathing grew more even. His eyes opened a little more. He looked at the old man. "You found him," he said. The old man shook his head. "No, he found me." The man gave the smallest smile. The dog closed its eyes briefly, still leaning into his touch. No urgency now, no fight left. Just calm. The old man exhaled, his shoulders finally lowering. The long wait, the long silence, had finally been broken. The room stayed quiet, but something had shifted. Not tension, not fear, closure. The man's grip on the dog softened, but he didn't let go. "You kept your post," he whispered. The German shepherd didn't move. It didn't need to anymore. The old man stepped closer, his voice low. "The truth is out. He's in custody." The man closed his eyes for a second, taking it in. "Good," he said faintly. Silence followed. Then the dog slowly lifted its head. Not alert, not guarding, just calm. Like something inside it had finally been released. The old man noticed it immediately. "You feel it too, don't you?" The dog looked at him. Soft. Peaceful. The man's hand slipped slightly, resting now instead of holding. "You can rest," he murmured. The German shepherd lowered its body beside the bed. Not collapsing. Settling. For the first time since the old man had seen it, it wasn't fighting to stand. It wasn't pushing forward. It was still. Because the mission was finally over. The monitors stayed steady. The room felt lighter. The old man pulled a chair closer and sat down. He didn't say anything, he just stayed. The German shepherd didn't lift its head this time. It rested against the side of the bed, eyes half closed. Not weak, at peace. The man took a slow breath. "You did it," he said softly. The dog's ear twitched. The old man leaned forward. "You carried this all these years, alone." The man gave a faint nod. He never forgot. Silence filled the space again, but it wasn't heavy anymore. Footsteps approached outside. Voices. The door opened slightly. An officer stepped in. "It's done," he said quietly. He confessed. The old man closed his eyes for a second. "That's it then," he whispered. The man on the bed let out a long breath. The German shepherd didn't move. It already knew. The old man looked at the dog. "Go on," he said softly. "You can finally rest." The dog didn't stand. Didn't need to. For the first time, it simply stayed. The room grew quieter with each passing second. The officer stepped back out, closing the door gently. No rush now, no tension left. The old man looked at the German shepherd. Its breathing had slowed. Calm. Even. Different. He leaned forward slightly. "Hey," the dog didn't lift its head. But its eyes opened just enough to meet his. Not tired, not struggling, at peace. The man on the bed noticed too. His voice came out softer than before. "He's done, isn't he?" The old man didn't answer right away. He just watched the dog. Then, slowly, he nodded. The man's hand moved, resting gently on the dog's neck. "Good boy," he whispered again. The German shepherd let out a quiet breath. Its body relaxed fully for the first time. No tension left, no mission left. The old man felt something tighten in his chest, not pain, something deeper, respect. The dog didn't move again. It didn't need to. It had carried everything. And finally let it go. The old man lowered his head slightly. "Thank you," he said under his breath. The room stayed still, and for the first time, everything was exactly as it should be.